Good morning. Good morning, everyone. Happy to meet you once again after a long time. I miss you a lot and the fun we made in the class. Corona is a reality. We have to accept that. But you have to go on with our studies. There is no choice for that. So it might take few more months for us to meet in person. So for us, there is no other go other than to go on with our studies. Coming to our lessons, English. You know, the first year pattern itself is repeated. Some changes are there. Lesson pattern is almost same. Prose, poetry and general grammar. First prose lesson is not that easy. So let us begin with an easy lesson first. Poetry. Poem. Let us study the first poem. Okay. I hope all of you have got textbooks with you. Please take your textbooks. The first lesson. Take it please. The poem. William Wordsworth. The tables turned. Please take it. William Wordsworth. See, the tables turned. I hope you have taken. What is meant by turn the table? It's a phrase which means reverse the order. Just the opposite of what we expect is being done. The order is reversed. That is what? Tables turned. See, let us go to the lesson directly. Tables turned. Okay. It is by William Wordsworth. He needs no introduction. You might have studied him in lower classes or heard him. And the romantic movement of which he was a champion. Romantic not in the ordinary sense that we understand the term. Generally, romantic means lovemaking. It is not that. It's a great movement. You know, all literature began with Greek Roman literature. All literature, English or anything, literature began with Greek Roman literature. It is known as neoclassical literature. See, it is all classical literature. To continue for many centuries, classical literature. See, all art and all literature began with this classical literature. Okay, it continued for many centuries. And an opposition to that came in the form of Renaissance. You studied it in social studies, school section itself, school level itself. So then Renaissance literature continued for a long time. Renaissance, it has its influence in literature also. These classical and Renaissance literature based on rules and regulations. How something should be done, what are the rules for it. It entirely depended on some rules and regulations. Writing everything objectively. Keeping your emotions aside, separate, away from. You write according to rules and regulations. Especially writing poems, poetry. See, what is the difference between prose and verse? V-E-R-S-E, verse. That is a lines of poem, is it not so? Verse means lines written in meter. There is a method to write a poem. There's a method. Rules are there, rules and regulations. Some of them you might have studied in school level. In even Telugu, it is there. Very clearly it is there. You studied, no? Do you remember? Lekhu, Guru, scanning a poem, scanning a meter. How it comes. Lekhu comes first, Guru comes second, and the other way also it is there. So lines written in meter, that is verse, V-E-R-S-E. That is the difference between prose and poems. So what I am trying to explain is that, see, neoclassical as well as Renaissance literature, it was based on these rules and regulations. Everything conventional, structural. So there was a reaction to it. To write something from within, from our heart, not what the brain says, what comes from the heart. Yes, it was romantic movement. Not at all related to lovemaking. Whatever is in the mind, imaginative, comes from the heart, that is romantic movement. Wordsworth was born in the year 1770 and he published a collection of poems known as Lyrical Ballads in collaboration with S.T. Coleridge, Samuel Taylor Coleridge. Lyrical Ballads marked the beginning of a new movement in English literature known as Romantic movement. They wrote from within, from their heart. What their mind and heart says, they wrote openly, not limiting themselves to rules and regulations. Subjective writing, not objective, subjective writing, coming from within. Wordsworth had his own theory of poetry. According to him, it is a spontaneous overflow, overflowing from the heart, spontaneous overflow of powerful emotions, not related with intellect. See, overflow of emotions, recollected in tranquility, means peacefulness. In peacefulness, what is recollected is spontaneously overflowing. That is poetry according to William Wordsworth. And he wrote these lyrical ballads together with, Coleridge, Samuel Taylor Coleridge. In that one famous poem is there, Tintanabe lines. In a way, it is autobiographical. Wordsworth, together with his sister Dorothy Wordsworth, they would walk by the side of river W-Y-E, and they would talk a lot of things, and he would be observing things around. He would take nature into himself. Yes, he was a nature poet. Adoration of nature was one of the most important, aspects of romantic movement. So they would walk together by river Wye, and he would come back to his house, to his room, and sit quietly, calmly, and write them down, whatever he got from nature, just like Beethoven, the music king, composer, great Beethoven. He was just like that. He would go in the rain, in the forest, and come back and write down whatever is in the nature that he has taken from nature. Nature poets. Yes, Wordsworth was a nature poet. Not only Wordsworth, all romantic poets like Wordsworth, Keats, Shelley, Byron, several were there. All romantic poets. That period, romantic movement, they were all worshippers of nature. They believed that nature can correct a person. Look at the sky, like a grandfather will scold you when you do some mistakes. In the poem Stolen Boat, he specifically, gives importance to that. Corrective influence on man, influence of nature on man. A famous poem is Stolen Boat. Yes, they believed that nature can correct you. Will rectify you when you make a mistake. Yes, they are all nature poets. So it's a great movement, romantic movement, which emphasized on nature poetry, which thought that we should write from within. What is in your mind should be written in the form of a poem. There is no question of any rules and regulations. And diction is quite simple, which can be understood by any human being. Simple. He also believed that real poetry should be the poetry of rustic people, innocent and illiterate people, according to William Wordsworth. Yes, so several theories are there related to those things and all. Simple diction, then lofty thoughts, worship of nature, all these things are the speciality of romantic movement. Yes, so we are going to study a poem by William Wordsworth. Okay, take the poem please. Table stand. 1 minute. Then let me take the poem for yourself. Yes. Take the first stanza. Up, my friend, and quit your books. The table stand, always reversed. Generally, a child, a student will be asked by his parents, his teachers, come, sit, let us study something, let us learn something. But here, our great Wordsworth is telling every student, every child, come on, dear children, quit your books, quit India. In the same way, quit your books, throw away your books, come on. That is what? Table stand. Reversing the order. The poem is not literally meant. It has a message for us to learn. The message is figurative, not by the word meaning. There is some meaning behind it. So I will explain that. Reversing the order. See, Wordsworth says that, come on children, come on students, quit your books. Oh, surely you will grow double. If you are sitting in a classroom, even at home, okay, if you are learning something by heart, learning theories by heart, memorizing, writing down, dictating everything into your head, your body will not be active, your mind will be working heavy, and you will be growing fat, and you will grow double. You will grow double, which means that your physical activity is not taking place, your mental activity, you are struggling a lot. At the end, obesity and other things will come, and you will grow double. So what should be done? You come out, quit your books. Up, my friend, and clear your looks. Yes, you have to clear your looks. Looks means your attitude. Change your attitude. That's what he is telling. Towards observing things. See, come and see what is happening around. Look at the nature, so beautiful. It can rectify you, correct you. It can make you learn several things from nature. Quit the books and come on. Come out from the classroom. Come out from your study room and observe nature. So, clear your looks means change your method of observing things. Okay, so he is asking, reversing the order. Wordsworth is asking every child, every student, come on, dear children, throw the books away and change your method of observing things. Okay, why all this toil and trouble? Why should you trouble like this? Trouble yourself like this? See, generally we know that children don't enjoy their life. They are pestered by their parents, study. They make every child get up early in the morning, make them get up and start. Parents will ask them, start reading, start studying. Then they are made to go to school with a huge bag full of books. The moment they come there, 8 o'clock to 6 o'clock, they are made to study. Every teacher scolding, punishing. Their life has become a hell. That is what Wordsworth, that is why Wordsworth is asking them, quit your books and come out. Look at nature. See, enjoy nature. You will not grow double. You will enjoy nature. You enjoy your life. Your life will become full of enjoyment. Now you are suffering your life. You are not enjoying your life. You don't enjoy your life. You don't live your life, you are suffering your life. So, dear children, quit your books and come out. Yes. Why all this toil and trouble? You are toiling, means working hard, struggling. You are suffering your life, not enjoying your life. You come out. Why all this toil? Why this toil and trouble? You undertake the trouble. You are not living your life. That's what Versuti is asking, telling every student, every child. Once again, first answer, up. Up, my friend, and quit your books, or surely you will grow double. Up, my friend, and clear your looks. Why all this toil and trouble? Once read the stanza. Once read all of you. 1 minute. Okay. I hope you have read it. First stanza. Read it, please. Yes. Stanza number 2. The sun above the mountain's head. Look at the sky. The sun is above the mountain's head. Just like a decoration, illumination. On top of the mountain, sun is there. You can see that how beautiful it is. Like an illuminated bulb or something like that. Decoration. Sun is there in the sky above the mountain. A freshening luster mellow. How freshening a scene it is. Luster, you see, soft and pleasant, mellow also. So shining and pleasant. How beautiful a scenery it is. Shining sun, pleasant and beautiful. Look at the sky. See the sun. How beautiful it is. Through all the green fields has spread. He has spread through the green fields his first sweet, evening yellow. See, have you noticed that every day sun rises in the east? Every day it is a new sun. It's not an old sun. He would never become old. He is as new as every day. Evening also. The first rays of evening, sun slowly comes through the sky. Yellow, first soft yellow, strong yellow, then come reddish. Then slowly sun goes down into the sea. Yes, every evening is fresh. Every evening is new for sun. His first sweet, evening. His first evening means first rays of evening sun. The first rays of evening sun makes the sky yellow. Every evening is new. New sun every day. Morning and evening. His first rays, the first rays of evening sun make the sky yellow. See, look at the sky, look at the sun, how beautiful it is. Come and enjoy it. Instead of sitting in a room, sitting in a classroom, eating out some books and notebooks and textbooks, struggling a lot, pestering your brain. Don't do that. Come out from the classroom and enjoy nature. Yes, once again read second stanza. The sun above the mountain's head. A freshening luster mellow. Through all the green fields has spread his first sweet evening yellow. Books, it is a dull and endless strife. Books, waste thing. Not literally meant, actually it is he is telling some message. What is the message? Nature is the best teacher. That's what he wants to convey through the poem. The best teacher is nature, not books or other teachers. From nature you can learn a lot of things that no one else can teach you. Books, it is a dull and endless strife. Strife means struggle. Come here, the woodland linnet. Come on, you listen. Hark, listen. The song of linnet is a kind of small bird to sing so sweetly. Nature's music. Not only linnet, several birds are there now. Skylark, lark in the sky. Nightingale, You know the story of nightingale? The moment darkness falls, the nightingale won't be able to see its own mate, male or female. Then it will be calling his mate, sing his heart out the entire night. When the sun rises in the east, when the first rays of the sun falls on them, they identify their mate and they are reunited. There is a story of separation and reunion. Yes, so it will sing his heart out. The song of nightingale is the most sweetest ever, because it is calling its own mate, male or female. So it's going on saying, so sweet it is, so sweet. Come and listen. The music of nature, the music of the birds in the sky. Yes, hear the woodland linnet. How sweet is music. How sweet is music of a woodland linnet. Come on, listen, come on, hear, please, come on. Throw your books away and come. All my life there is more wisdom in it. Upon my life I say. He is saying an oath in a way. He is pledging. He is promising. Yes, there is more wisdom in it. There is more wisdom in the song of a bird. There is more wisdom in the beauty of nature, in the sound of nature. Come, learn lessons from nature. Instead of sitting in a classroom or sitting at home learning some lessons, reading some books, come out from the classroom and learn lessons from nature, because nature is the best teacher according to William Wordsworth. According to William Wordsworth, nature is the best teacher. That is what he wants to convey through this poem. Through this poem, he wants to convey that nature is the best teacher. Yes. We cannot finish one lesson in one video. We'll continue in the next video. Once read it, we'll see in the next video. Thank you.